Hello, sports fans. I'm Steven Hill for JustMyPicks.com, and I'm bringing you the special NFL Weekly covering of the NFL Draft and all the things that we had this weekend. I'm going to be covering the biggest winners and the biggest losers of the NFL Draft. I'm going to quickly cover a couple of these teams and a couple of these players. My biggest winner of the NFL Draft altogether, no doubt, is the St. Louis Rams, drafting Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin out of West Virginia was Percy Harvin 2.0, where he could score, he could do a lot of things out the backfield, as a running back, as a slot back, as an H-back. He could do a lot of those things, but in hindsight, with the Rams, he will be a playmaker that can really do things the right way. He will also add another dimension to something that they haven't had. He comes in and he will be quickly asked to replace Danny Amendola, who left for the New England Patriots in free agency. But a lot of the things that he'll be asked to do as far as punt return, kick return, slot receiver, he can play any position. He can even play a little running back. We saw him do that at West Virginia and racked up a lot of yards. That's the clear-cut winner of this draft. The Rams traded up a little bit because they knew what kind of explosion he had in college, and they know he could do it on the next level. The Rams, Jeff Fisher was in love with this pick. I know that a lot of people were doubting his size, that he's not that big. Look around the league. Darren Sproles is another one of those little guys who can move around, has been effective his whole NFL career. Also, Percy Harvin, quick as lightning. They all have capable abilities of breaking it forward. My second winner, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers got Jarvis Jones late in the draft. He slipped because of the health injury, his health potential injury of that spine disease. I think it's a mistake. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers got a blessing in disguise. Jarvis Jones, bar none, is the best pass rushing defensive player in this draft. I watched him several times at Georgia over the last 2 and 3 years. He's a one-man wrecking ball crew. At outside linebacker, he even played a little bit of inside linebacker. The kid is a grade A pick. He was the best defensive end in his draft. I think that all the teams that passed over him is going to be a big mistake. He's going to be an all-pro player in about a year or two. I think that in that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, he will find his way and he'll have an outstanding rookie season. I think that he'll fight for his position, and he'll end up winning that one. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were blessed to get that pick. But I think Jarvis Jones slipped a little bit too much in that draft. I think a lot of teams passed over him. They'll be sorry for that in a couple of months. But the Lions, Ezekiel Ansah. When I see his tape, when I see his game film, he reminds me a lot of Jason Pierre-Paul when he came out of South Florida, and he was an unpolished product. He really did not know what he was doing coming into the NFL. He really didn't play football growing up, and Ansah is the same way. He's a freakish athlete. Reading some of his bio, 6'5", 271. He's that long, lanky 6'5" in that frame. When he grows into that frame and he learns how to actually go through his progressions, and he learns how to go through those stances and 3-point, 2-point, and he learns how to tackle and he learns how to do all those things, he's going to be a phenomenal player. I believe that his projection is a little bit better than JPP's. I know that JPP coming out of college had a little bit more experience to him, but I think that this guy is hungry, and playing with that young defensive Lions group, he can grow with that unit along with Ndamukong Suh fairly. I know they lost Cliff Averill, but he is a solid replacement for that. And I know that they did some excellent things with cornerbacks in the draft. That's the end of my winners, because you could go down the list a little bit more winners, but I want to get to the specific winners. Those 3 teams are the 3 teams with those picks that really had winner picks. The top 2 losers in this draft. I'm going to start off at number 1, the New York Jets, drafting Geno Smith. When you have so many needs on offense, I like the D. Milner pick, the first pick they had. The defensive tackle was a questionable pick for them. I think that they should have used this draft to upgrade at wide receiver. Stephen Hill is not getting it done. I know the product that came from Georgia Tech, he cannot really catch. He cannot really get off the ball that quickly. He can only do one route. That's the go route. Having Santonio Holmes as your only main weapon coming back into next season, he was hurt last season. So it's a lot of depth issues and question mark issues on that offense. You can't depend on anybody on that offense, really, not even Santonio Holmes, because he was injured last year. I know that they got rid of Tim Tebow, which was a dumb idea. I think that with them not having the talent base that they need to progress this team, I think they should have kept Tim Tebow and let him start a few games out the gate, because Mark Sanchez's time is up in New York. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets traded or on the chopping block. David Garrard is a solid backstop. I would make him my backup quarterback, but Geno Smith is a solid quarterback, but I think he's in a bad position where he doesn't have any weapons, and I hope and pray Geno Smith has to wait 2 or 3 years to play so he can have the proper weapons around him so that people don't jump to conclusions and think he's a bust, because the Jets are in havoc. Rex Ryan fails to realize his problems were not on defense last season. Even though they lost to Real Reavers, they were pretty damn good on defense. They were in the middle of the pack. But their offense has really killed them. That's what really killed them. It really took them back. They really set themselves back a lot by not getting wide receivers. And my second loser, the last loser I have of this video, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For some reason, Mike Glennon was drafted. I don't see Mike Glennon as a starting quarterback within the next 3 years, but drafting him with a third-round draft pick where you can improve this Buccaneers defense a little bit better. I know they were last in the league in passing last season, or you could even went and got another wide receiver to help out Vincent Jackson and Mike Williams and Doug Martin, but it's just so many things. The Buccaneers, you were doing so well this offseason with picking up solid players and getting free agents that were solid, and you threw us all through a loop with this. This says to me, Josh Freeman, you are now on the clock. This starts your clock to where you're out of Tampa if you don't get it done this year or next year. I don't agree with this pick as far as them selecting a quarterback. There were so many different players on this board. They could have went for the Honey Badger. They could have did a whole lot other things, but they took this pick, and I don't know why they did, but I think Josh Freeman will play this season ignited. I think that he will feel disrespected by them drafting this draft pick because, after all, we all know that the NFL stands for not for long. But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the second biggest loser because they were building so well in this offseason, and I think they took a step back in doing this. You can check me out at justmypicks.com. You can check this out and all the other videos. You can check me out on Just My Picks TV. You can check me out on YouTube, YouTube.com/JustMyPicksTV. Thank you very much for following, and please subscribe to my videos.